Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another section of a continuous series in our AWS Cloud Web Services teachings. Here today we'll be looking into a continuous series for the last video that we took. And again, the last video was customized VPC. But today we thought it'd be wise enough to have a clear vision of what exactly we are building. A reflection on the last video. This is a architectural diagram that will represent exactly what we are building. If we take a good look, we will see that we have two availability zones here engulfed in an AWS cloud environment. So we got the VPC, we got the availability zone A, and availability zone 2B. So like we were building in the last one, we have done two subnets, public subnet for the environment. We actually said one will be public in zone A, and the other public is on 2B, while each of the private subnet will be distributed among the availability zones. So looking closely to the architectural diagram, we see the true reflection of how this works. Here we have the users accessing through internet through to Route 53, which is the domain hosted zone, and straight to the load balancer, in this case application load balancer. And some other users are sent directly to the load balancer. In turn, the load balancer now distributes the traffic to each of the availability depending on what is programming the listener. Okay, so this is what we're going to be developing slowly. Here we have the load balancer, and here we have the mysql database on each of the private hosters. Okay, this is our NAT gateway, which enables the private subnets, including the mysql, to get access to the internet. Okay, so why the public servers and the application which will be mounted on them, in this case we'll be considering the apache HTTPD. So this is the network we are building slowly, and surely we will get there. Okay, so we will continue in the console, and we'll be looking at the process of creating the subnets. Creating the subnet we've done in the last video, but we won't go back to that now. So we'll just go straight and try to, I think from what was done last time, we'll just go take a bit of dive into the environment and see what we have. So if we look at these security groups, we'll be using this security group. I guess we try to create some and we'll just rename them. So we intended to create a front end for the subnet in the public and a backend for the subnet in the private, in this case, the mysql. So we'll take a dive into the security group. We want to see the ports that are enabled and the VPC they are attached to. So this is the VPC, which is the customized one. And the ports here, if we click on the edit, we will see the ports that are enabled. So we have 80 for the HTTP, and this is for the IP version 4, and this is for the IP version 6. There is not necessary in this case. You can as well just delete that, but it does come up as a default. So we enable these two ports. Like we actually explained in the last video, SSH will be for gaining access into the server. So this port 2022 enables ours SSH access to the server. So we'll just save that and we go straight to the backend security group. Okay. So for the backend security group, which I believe is this one, if we just expand this a bit, our intention is to route this to the private. So we'll just take a look at the ports that are actually opened. So we'll see normally we'll have a SSH, which is the port 22. And here we have the mysql or TCP at port 3306. So this is just an addition, not quite necessary in this case, but yeah, we'll just let it be the HTTP running at port 80. So we didn't change anything, just go back. So you see both of the security group now. So continuing from the last video, we just going to quickly find a way to get our environment ready for this video. So slowly we're just going to build on more with where we stop. But I guess normally when you have a configured environment, you don't want to have your elastic IP and NAT gateway running. So that has been deleted. So we'll just quickly go ahead and set up a new one. In this case, we'll be setting up the subnets. So if we take a look, let's see what subnet we currently have. Look at the VPC, we will be seeing details of what resources we have in terms of net. So for the VPC, okay, so we're in different environments. So let's just go back to login EUS2, which is the Europe London. So I'm sure that's where we have our VPC customized created. All right, so here you go. So this is our customized VPC. If we go to the subnet quickly, let's see what we have. We have our Cloud Tech Prod, so public subnets, private subnet, public subnet, and private subnet. So we still have 2 public subnets and 2 private subnets. So quickly go to the route table if we have any. This is just a summary to see what exactly is going on there. So if we go to the private, we'll see what we have, if it's well configured. Yeah, so the NAT gateway was brought down. So we can quickly just edit this and go ahead and remove it. So we'll save this for now, we'll come back to that. So let's check out our internet gateway and see what we have. Yeah, we still have our public internet gateway in place. Okay, so we'll take a dive into that and see exactly what was going on in there. We can see we don't have a route table yet. So let's look at the public route table and see how it is looking. So that's the public route table with 2 subnets, public subnet attached to it, hopefully. Yeah, we still have internet gateway attached to that subnet. Let's see, two subnets attached associated with that. Yes, they are public. If you take a quick look at this while we did that, okay, yeah, we have the public subnets likely attached to the public route table. So I think public is looking good. We just go ahead and create an elastic IP and NAT gateway. Go to the NAT gateway quickly. We've shown this before, but we're just going to ahead and do it again so that it will be looking good. So we just go with the cloud tech pro underscore NATs. Okay, then we can just call that for the private. The subnets will turn here will be the public subnet. Like you know, NAT gateway is always routed in the public subnets where you have the internet gateway releasing access to the internet. Okay, so we don't have an elastic IP. We just allocate one right now, and yeah, we'll be good to go. We'll create that internet gateway. Does take its time. Let's just go see. So we'll be pending for some time. And, yeah, take a look. This will be pending for some time. So our intention to go back to the architectural diagram again. Okay, so we have just done this. Public subnets done on both availability zones. Like we are rightly said, we have two private subnets ongoing. Okay, so we have the public route table in a good condition. We're only trying to set up the route table in private network. Connecting that to the NAT gateway is elastic IP. Okay, so quickly, we don't have in place the EC2 instance that will be hosting the HTTP web applications yet. So we're just going to go ahead and do that while the NAT gateway is getting ready. So this will be pending for some time because it does take its time. So quickly see that. So what we'll be doing now is just go ahead and try to create two EC2 instance. So at least we can actually create one perfectly. The one that will be hosting the HTTP web server. Okay, so remember we're always dealing with the red hat flavor. So we select that. And in this case, we'll be picking on the T2 micro as the instance type. So quickly go there. Here we're going to pick our customized VPC. This we said will be in availability zone A, and we enable here the auto assign public IP. So I just want to quickly automate this process so there won't be any time wasted. So we'll just pick on this user ID, user data, we put it here. So hopefully this is going to automate the process for us. Okay. Yeah, so here we're saying update the server, install HTTPD, start the HTTPD, keep HTTPD running, and go into this directory, echo this message, and yeah, also install the mysql server. So just go quickly with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this as HTTPD server. So if I quickly just say HTTPD, so and go to the next. This time, like we rightly said, we'll be picking the existing security group. In this case, we'll be picking the front end. The front end, we'll see here, we have the port range of 80 and 22, just like we rightly mentioned earlier on, and it's attached to the VPC. Okay, so we launch this, and it's just a summary of what we're trying to do. So if we launch this, we can just pick on the existing key pair. So we're picking without key pair in this case. So if we launch that, and that will be in the process of provisioning. I'll be pending for a while. Let's go check our NAND gateway and see if that is available yet. Okay, now it's available, so we can go ahead and set up our private rack table. So we go back to the rack table, expand this a bit. We call this private. If we go in there, we're just going to edit the routes. As we have shown in the other videos, we need to add the NAND gateway to the private rack table. So in this case, the one we just created, which is this. Okay, so if we save this, the routes, the public route, the private route table should be looking good now. So let's just go check the association once again. So the two subnets hopefully will be the privates. So we just check that and see how it's looking. So yeah, NAND gateway is rightfully associated. Subnets hopefully should be the private here. Like you can see, two privates associated with the private route table. So we're looking good. So we go on to the EC2 that has been provisioned. While we wait for that, refresh this a bit. In this case, it's going to take its time because a lot of updates will be going on in there. So we actually mentioned from the architectural diagram that we'll be considering provisioning two EC2 instance, one for the HTTP, the Apache server that will be hosting hopefully a static website. In the later series, we'll show that. So right now, we'll be creating or provisioning an instance to host the mysql. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Okay. So if we go back there and we launch another. Again, picking on the print here. Select the weather flavor. I'll show you this once again. Pro. We're picking it, the cloud tech as a customized VPC. This time we're going to be picking zone B because, like we said, one will be cutting across zone B and one is on A. That makes the network a highly available network, and that we can see here. Okay, so we do this just enable the auto assign public IP, and yeah, this will be setting up the MySQL server in this. To do that, this user data will be able to help us do that actually. So we're just trying to automate the process. Okay, so we'll put that there, and hopefully that will come up. So you had storage, which is the auto or default storage for the provisioning of the EC2. So this time I'm just going to add a tag and call this a mysql. So mysql as in mysql server. Okay, so straight to the security group. In this case, we'll be choosing the mysql security group, which is already configured, allow traffic from the front end. Okay, so if we do that, take a good look at the port range. We're seeing 80, 22, 3306 for the mysql. So 22 will remain the SSH access point, and HTTP for the port 80. So we review the launch. Here we have a summary of what we're doing, everything looking good. So we'll just go ahead and launch this. So this time we'll be choosing the same key pair. Okay, so we'll just launch that. So the second instance is up and running. We've just been waiting for it to come up. So we can see the first instance is already fully provisioned now, running, and the status is passed. So let's just rename it as HTTP server. And obviously we're going to name this as mysql server. Okay, so the HTTP server is ready. You can see the status check here is passed. And so let's try and see what's in there, what we have actually configured. So this time around we'll be SSHing into the server. Do it clear. Actually, if I do ls and list whatever is in there, we can see my keys right here. Because that's the key we actually decide to use. What is here? Yeah, read that. Okay. So I'll do another clear just to enable us see what's going on here. Okay. So let me just expand this a bit. So we want to SSH into the server. We do SSH-I and the key pair is with that. Yeah, so EC2 as a default user gaining access to the web server. So we will be picking on the public IP address of the server. So without it, you won't be able to log in there. So if we do this and just do an enter, it prompts you for saying yes. We say yes. We are in there. So first, I want to see the state at which the server installation is in. So if we do a sudo yum history, so let's see what's going on in the server. Okay, so rightfully you can see the update is done. Okay, so we'll be expecting that the other installation, including the HTTP server, is installed. All right, so that will be ongoing. So we'll go back to see what state we are with the mysql server. Okay, that's done as well. All right, so mysql server, we won't be able to gain access into that for now because we will try to gain access through the front end HTTP. All right, so now this will take a while. We just have to wait and see. Okay, so while we're waiting, just come back here and see again and see what's going on. If there's any progress, still the same thing. So let me go back here and tell us exactly what we're waiting for. Okay, so we did use this user data. So this is obviously done from what we're seeing there. So if you look, take a good look at this. With the help of these three commands, we've been able to see how the update is gone through. So this obviously will be the process of installation, which is the sudo yum install httpd server. So that's what exactly we're waiting for. But for now, this might take a little bit longer, so we could just keep this for the next series. In the next series, we'll be looking at how to fully install HTTPD server, and also how we can gain access from the public subnets to the private subnet where we have our database mysql running. Okay, so we'll be looking at how exactly can we gain access into that database in the private subnet, and it only allows traffic from the front end security. All right, we'll be seeing that, and hopefully we'll find a way to get it. So if we go back to what we're trying to do here, so this is exactly what we're trying to build, right? Okay, so we want to make this a highly available network. All right, so hence we're going to be cutting AWS is going to be automating the process of distributing the instance that we just enabled to this availability zombie and the mysql as well, automated by AWS, and one is replicating data from availability zombie. So for now, we will stop and hopefully see you in the next series where we'll be looking at how we can actually gain access to the mysql in the private segment. Okay, so obviously we know we cannot just SSH into that. So if you want to take a look, we can just have a look and see the complication that we're talking about. Since we made it a private subnet, we won't be able to get access directly into that. So if I try to go back to my directory, say home, and see into the first directory where I have my key pair. Okay, so the key pair is obviously in here. Okay, we'll see you for that. Okay, so we're in there. Just like we did earlier on, we do an SSH -I where that. So what we're trying to do now is try to tell you or show you how it's not possible to just gain access directly into the MySQL server in a public IP. Okay, so if we go back to the console, we'll be looking at this. This is the MySQL server. So let's just go back there, put the public IP in there and try to go in there. Obviously, it's going to time out because it's not programmed to allow direct SSH access into a server because it's a private subnet. And again, we've always said we only allow access through the front end, which, as we know, we will only gain access to the private subnet where the MySQL server is provisioned through the public subnets. In this case, HTTP server. We will be able to get access through the HTTP server, and that is true here. So we will be showing how that is possible in the next. So this is ready. Everything is ready. But again, we will hold this next video. Thank you guys.